I was going to do a video on Bernie Tree 66, but I decided not to do it because as a Black community, we have bigger fish to fry than to worry about one coon in the mist. But I will react to her saying that we shouldn't remember our slavery, which clearly comes from Caucasoids. There is no group of people in the history of this world that ever forgot their ancestors. And when these Caucasoids make this request that's never going to be granted to them, by the way, that Black people forget our history, who does that benefit? Only them. And if they were so concerned about forgetting history, then why do we have museums all over America with a lot of history in it? Why do we have war memorials? Why do we have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the Smithsonian? Why do we have all these historical sites all over America? And why does Caucasoid America teach their history all throughout schools in this country if the thing to do was forgetting your past? I sure don't see them forgetting a whole hell of a lot of their past. And they have no right to make that request from Black people. So let me just answer you, Caucasoid America. Black people should forget slavery. Request denied. Now, according to Deuteronomy 32, verse 7, it tells us, remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. Nowhere in the scripture does it say to forget your past. It says the opposite, actually. It tells you to remember it. And I won't forget to accommodate the Caucasoid race. I will not accommodate you in your request for us to forget our past. You got hell to pay when it comes down to Black people in this country. You have an ocean of blood on your hands. An ocean. You have spilled so much of our blood on this American soil. And I won't forget. I won't forget. I'm not going to forget about all the blood that was shed in Africa, dragging my people onto the slave ships. I won't forget the blood that was shed on board of those slave ships because my ancestors were fighting for their lives. I won't forget all of the beatings and the rapes and the murders you've done to my people all throughout slavery, punishing them for petty shit. I won't forget all of the blood that you shed from the lynchings. 90% of the men lynched in America were businessmen that didn't need you. All of the black towns that white mobs got jealous of and burnt down because we didn't need you. All through Jim Crow, lynching our soldiers, black soldiers that came home from serving this country and didn't care that they served the country. You didn't give a shit. Lynch them anyway. Lynch them in their uniforms. I won't forget. I won't forget how you went after and assassinated Dr. Martin Luther King. You put black men up to taking out Malcolm X. You took out the Black Panthers, and they did so much for the black community. And even to this day, you obsess over black people. You express your hate for us, but you can't stay away from us either. You got hell to pay. And you can best believe retribution is coming. It's coming. It's coming. Now, your cops in the black neighborhood, not to protect and serve, they're not about to lift a finger in protecting and serving blacks. But when they're in the white neighborhood, all of a sudden they remember their police training and know how to protect and serve. They are occupiers in the black community. They're an occupying force. They don't care about the black community. When they're just good and ready and itching to kill, then they do. You can't walk while black. You can't drive by black. You can't sit on your porch while black. You can't be in your yard while black. You can't stand on the sidewalk while black or in the street while black. You virtually made everything illegal for black people. We know this through your slave codes, black codes, and pig laws. We know these things. You made it illegal to be a black person in America, and you're still upholding it. The slave patrol has been in effect and still in effect in the black community. See, ladies and gentlemen, the IDF over there in Israel trains the American cops to be an occupying force. If If you notice, the police style with the Palestinians and Black Americans are very similar. There's a reason for that. These cops are all in cahoots with each other to uphold white supremacy at all cost. Even if it means you die. We know they got their nigger hunting license in their back pocket. And they're out there to hunt. So you're foolish to forget your past. If you forget your past, you won't understand what's going on in your present. But see, Coons, I just want you to know, when cockazoids like you, it's only temporary. Once they have no need for you anymore, you'll be expendable. And they'll just move right on. They don't show emotions like we do. They show emotions like animals, not like humans. You're not going to get loyalty from hybrids. They're not wired to be loyal. They're just not. You force us to learn your history. And it's not even a good history. It's not useful. It's nothing I want to pass on to anybody. It's shameful. See, America is a killer state. You're a police state, but you're also a killing state. See, you've done so much dirt to people on this planet, and that's why you try to treat the entire earth like a police state. I understand. If I've done all the things that you've done, I would probably try to do the same thing. But, at the end of the day, who's going to respect you? People on this earth no longer see you the same way. And now you want to run around whining, talking about hate. You're the progenitor of hate. You ran an entire nation on it. But see, now if a lot of it is kind of flipping around on you, and you want to know why, look no further than your past and your present. No, America don't have just blood on their hands. They got a full tidal wave of blood on their hands. There is no apology you can give that would even scratch the surface for all of the death and carnage you've done in this country. You've mistreated everybody. But you came at Black people the worst because we're the strongest and we're the smartest and we do everything better than you. That's why. You try to tell Black people, oh, y'all don't know how to run businesses. But then when we go back in history, we're finding a lot of Black men and women that ran businesses and actually earned more money than you. That's why you had the white mobs come and grab those men and lynch them. You couldn't believe they actually moved on with life without needing you. That should give every Black person in this country confidence to move forward without the caucasoids. You don't need them. Just read the history our ancestors are telling you. You don't need them. You don't. You don't need them. And the world don't need them either. They are dying from drugs, suicide, the sun is killing them, and they have a low birth rate. But yet they claim to be the smartest people with high IQs, which is the biggest joke ever. The IQ test had to be rewritten 7 times because they kept failing it. In fact, Black people passed the test and they failed it. They weren't happy with those results. So those results got thrown out and they kept revising it until they could pass it. You know how they could pass the test, ladies and gentlemen? They had to make the test all Caucasian. That was the only way they could pass it. Look around America, you see Blacks, Latinos, Asians, Indians, but the test is all Caucasian. It's just like juries, all Caucasians, just so they can ensure that they would get a conviction of a Black man. It's the only way they can do it. See, they can't balance out the police force, and they can't put a balanced jury together. Because then they feel like they're not in control anymore. They want to control the masses. They only have a short time. Craig Jarrett, thank you for sending this story. This is Police State, USA. People killed by cops on track to reach 1,000 by the end of the year for the 3rd year in a row. America will put you in jail for no damn reason and don't care that she got innocent people sitting in prison. Don't care. Don't care. The number of people projected to die at the hands of police in 2017 is set to close in on 1,000 for the third year running, the Washington Post says in an annual study. Of the 492 people killed by police so far, nearly a quarter are Black men. And these Caucasians will make the claim, oh, they kill us more, and then never provide you with not one statistic that shows they get killed more, because they're not. No one is getting shot more in America than Black people. And it's been consistent from the inception of police forces, aka slave patrol in America. It's always been Black people, and it is the same to this day. I have watched videos of white people shooting cops, hitting cops, cussing cops out, spitting on cops, fighting cops. And they seem to remember how to do their police work when their perpetrator is another white person. They seem to remember all of their training. But when they're dealing with Black people, it's anything goes. See, they're occupiers of the Black community. They come and occupy the community every day. They come in a neighborhood to patrol people they absolutely detest and hate. This is why we are seeing the things that we see. If you took all of these cops out of the community, crime would plummet. It would plummet because the majority of their arrests in the Black community are not even necessary. They're taught to say they fear for their lives. They're taught to say that you are resisting arrest. This is why we keep hearing those two things over and over and over and over. It doesn't matter what you do. If they decided in their mind they want to kill someone Black today, and they're going to shoot you. It doesn't matter if you follow everything they say. We've seen it way too many times. In this country, white men can never be terrorists. And if you're a white cop and you killed someone Black, you never can be found guilty in a court of law. That's why they shoot you. They already know there will be no consequences for killing someone Black. They already know this. Their prosecutors have told them this, their judges have told them this, and the all-white jury is all in on it too. In the media, report these cops as if they are gods on earth. And these flawed hybrids are not gods. No, that's not what they are. While the number of unarmed people killed by the cops since January has slightly decreased in comparison to the same period last year, the differences remain that the margin of error. So, I mean, it may not be quite as much now, but really by the time we get to December, that will really tell the story on how many they killed. And they have every single year been over 1,000. Easy. Very easy, ladies and gentlemen. And now you have the Justice Department that won't investigate these shootings at all. Not interested in your Black life. No court in America is interested in giving you justice for a Black life. In all honesty, Black people, you are wasting your time going into these courts, especially when everybody in those courts are caucasoids. Your judge, your prosecutor, your jury, you don't stand a chance. You won't stand a chance. There will be no justice in the land that has spilled so much Black blood. And many of these people they are shooting also suffer from mental illness. And these cops, they're not really mentally balanced enough to handle a mentally ill person themselves. But let's look at how many people ISIS killed. Now, they are always carrying on about terrorism in this land, which is the biggest joke ever. All right, the biggest terrorists in the world are Caucasoids. The biggest terrorists in America are Caucasoids. You know, is the biggest joke. Them throwing around the word terrorist and always trying to apply it to everyone else, just like with the Native Americans. They were savages. See, they love labeling something in order to make it seem like it's okay to kill, because those Indians were savages. And those Black people, they're just niggers and they're thugs. And these Middle East people, oh, it's okay to kill these Arabs and these Middle East and Islam and Muslim people because they're terrorists. They're extreme terrorists. So as long as you slap a label on it, then it's okay to kill. How many people have been killed in ISIS attacks around the world? Now remember, about 1,000, over 1,000 a year are killed at the hands of cops in America. And ISIS has killed 1,200. What's the damn difference? What's the difference? I'm not afraid of ISIS. ISIS hasn't done a damn thing to the Black community. But the ones that deem themselves as good and do no wrong, You seem to keep cropping up as the biggest killers in America. I ain't buying it. Nobody should. So, ladies and gentlemen, another year of bloodshed for the Black community without any end in sight. Now, we're not going to be able to stop the racist nature of these cops. This is how they were raised, and this is what they do in those households, raising their kids to be racist. Us coming together. If you look at the history, every time we came together and became strong, it sent them over the edge. As long as you fail to unite, you're giving the devil another day to kill you. At this point in time, we should not be holding out on coming together. We have tried, Black people. None of us should feel bad about separating. We have tried. We have tried to assimilate. We have tried to go to integrated schools. We have tried to work on these jobs in an integrated environment. We have tried to assimilate. Black people have gone above and beyond trying in America. We don't owe America another damn thing. And as far as I'm concerned, didn't owe America nothing in the first place. It's okay to come back home to your own people. We can't rise if we're divided. We have to come together, and then we can fight the good fight. But it's not going to happen as an individual. We need each other. Our future should be us uniting. Anything less of that just won't do. Please leave your comment and subscribe. And if you can donate to this channel, please do. Peace, family.